The Muse was originally a kind of freshwater nymph, similar to the oceanids or the naiads. They dwell in freshwater springs that were considered sacred. Their waters nourish both life and the soul, nurturing the creative powers of the soul and bestowing gifts of artistic talent and creativity. Each region of Greece had its own sacred wells, just as was the case in many parts of Europe. The many little muses that inhabited these wells each had their own local names. Over time, there were 9 higher muses the Greeks recognized, first in the Boeotian school of poetry, the school of Hesiod. These 9 muses were exceptional because they were daughters of Zeus and the Titan goddess of memory, Mnemosyne. They dwell around the sacred springs of Mount Helicon, where they perform ritual dances in honor of their father. And these Heliconian muses had a special ability. They could take their sacred waters with them and bring them to the poets. The Heliconian muses were said to sprinkle the nourishing waters of inspiration into the mouths of newborns, thus gifting them with artistic talents for life. This belief is very similar to the Celtic stories of the fairies, who would give gifts of beauty, or eloquence, or wit, intelligence, and courage, and many other blessings to children. Calliope was the highest of the Heliconian muses, because her gift was eloquence, beautiful speech, and she would give this gift to worshipful princes. She visited kings and queens at the births of their royal children to bless them. It became a tradition for the poets to invoke the muse at the beginning of their epics and other poetry. Some poets would devote entire songs to the muse. Later, in the classical period, each of the Heliconian muses came to be depicted in specific ways and came to be associated with specific art forms. The Heliconian muses became the Olympian muses, rising to the level of full goddesses of the arts, music, and poetry. Among the poets, it is tradition to begin and end with the muse. The muse is first and last. According to Hesiod, this was a command given to him by the muses themselves, when he met them in the wilderness of Helicon, and they breathed into him a divine voice to celebrate things that shall be and things that were aforetime. Hesiod claims the muses told him to sing of God, that is, the blessed race of immortals who are forever. However, he is to sing of the muses first and last. This is the other power of the Olympian muses. They have this gift to breathe song and divine voice into singers, poets, and artists. They act as a kind of genius for artists, and so singers, musicians, and all manner of creative souls only exist on earth because of the muses. Why, though, do the muses tell Hesiod to sing of themselves first? Perhaps because they are the source of his talent, and so he owes a special debt to them as a poet. There may be another reason, though, and this is some theological speculation, but consider this. All art, culture, and even religion begins with inspiration, and the muse is the personification of inspiration itself. If all the institutions and artifacts of a religion or a culture die out, so long as the people who made them survive, and their poets can be inspired, culture and religion can be reborn. An entire people's identity can be restored so long as the people's artists have the ability to create. Everything we make that is sacred to us or valuable to us begins with the muse or some equivalent spirit of inspiration and creativity. After we lose everything, the last element of our culture and traditions that remain is the gift of the muse, and from that gift, everything can come back again. I am new to the art of content creation, so I am beginning with the muse following the ancient tradition of Hesiod. This video is an introduction for a 9-video series. Each of these videos will be about each of the 9 Olympian muses. Many of them will be fairly short, or 1 or 2 might be just a little bit longer. Once all are finished, I will most likely edit them into a longer video for those who prefer long-form content. I am taking this approach as a way to learn how to create content and edit videos. Over time, I will branch out and explore all manner of European religion, culture, mythology, and philosophy, and possibly other topics as well. All this will be from the perspective of deep respect and love for these ancient traditions, the cultures and the people who created them, as well as those who wish to adopt the wisdom of these traditions into their lives today. If this sounds interesting to you, and if you enjoy this video, please leave a like. If you are interested in the topics I've mentioned and the perspective I offer, consider subscribing. You have an opportunity to see this new project unfold in real time. This has been Axis Mundi with a Sylvan education video. Thank you so much for watching and listening.